Hey guys, this is eSportsMonies, ESM Mac 10, whatever you want to call me, and today is patch day! It is September the 23rd, 2014. It is 6:12 p.m. Eastern Time as I'm starting to record this. This will probably be a lengthy video, but I don't know. Let's go to the Rekindling Soul page. This is patch 6.82. So it looks like Shadow Fiend or Swag Fiend is all swagged out. That's cool. He's got an Arcana and a model rework. Okay, well, that's cool. That's a cool Arcana, but I actually don't know what he looks like normally now. So either way, Shadow Fiend is back, looking like a boss. New hats, new hats. Fight recap. That's really cool that they're doing that. Map change. Oh my god. I'm actually going to have to take a look at the map to actually get a good idea of what this is. So hopefully my game client's already updated. And while this is updating, I can go back to, or while this is loading up, I can go back to the patch notes. So I'm going to go ahead and close my homework. Okay, so new bounty rune. Oh my goodness. One rune will always be a bounty rune, so there will always be two runes now, so this means that mids can just go to the opposite end and everyone can fill up their bottle always now, I think. It gives you golden experience. Wow. That's actually really game-breaking. Crimson Guard. I need to take a look at the Crimson Guard stats to actually say what it's going to do. Bloodseeker. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Well, what? I don't know why I have one of these. Peek inside. Open. Sorry, guys. I got distracted. Oh, cool. I got the Elder Dragon form. That's neat. Alright, so let's take a look at Bloodseeker. Has he not been reworked yet? What's going on here? Bloodbath has been replaced with Blood Right. Bloodbath still showing that, but it looks like Lycan's ultimate has been changed. What about Shadow Fiend? Shadow Fiend? So maybe they haven't actually updated this in the games. Create lobby. Go ahead and start this. Let's see if they've updated it. Sorry, I just got back to my computer right now, so I have no idea if it's actually downloaded the update. So Phantom Lancer has been reworked. There's been some changes to his juxtaposability. He's got Doppelganger, which helps him dodge immediate danger. Phantom Rush. Wow. So it looks like Phantom Lancer, it sounds like Phantom Lancer is going to be a harder late game carry, which is good. But probably kill Naga in this meta. She should be dead anyway. It's a horrible hero. What is a hero that's really been... Let's take a look at Lycan. Okay, it looks like the patch isn't out yet. Yeah, its base attack time is still 1.5. So, unfortunately, there's nothing there. Okay, so, Fountain area is now at a higher elevation level. Fountain vision increased, Fountain attack ranged, Fountain true sight increased. This is basically to prevent Fountain farming. It's a change they've talked for a long time. It looks like they've changed the entire map up pretty substantially. Wow. Wow. So this is the new Roche pit. I'm assuming that this is where the ancients spawned? Yeah. That's really weird. Stacking and pulling is going to be, or stacking with ancients is going to be really, really weird. Oh, wow. Denied creeps give less experience. Like, less experience than before. They always gave less experience, but still. Aegis duration decreased from 6 minutes to 5. You would think that would be a nerf to Lycan, but it's kind of not because he doesn't really do much with Aegis anyway. Reworked bonus area of effect gold. The gold from ending a killing spree is reduced. Roshan's slam damage increased. I don't think it will really change heroes that solo Roshan in the early game, but specifically with Lycan and other heroes that revolve around using minions, you're gonna see some serious problems. It's gonna be, or in the mid game and late game. Sorry, I'm gonna go ahead and offline that. The Centaur Conqueror Swiftness aura has been moved to the Hellbear. The Hellbear attack time has been increased on both of them. The Centaurs now attack faster, which is stupid. It's the worst. It was already the worst camp in the game. Dark Troll Summoners Ensnare duration increased. Slight buff to Chen. Satyr Banishers HP increased from 240 to 300. Oh, and the movement speed was increased too, which is good. Makes it easier to stack. Oh, wow. So, I don't see Bloodseeker's Blood Rage on here. So it looks like that's still not dispellable by most things. Like Slark can't dispel Blood Rage from Bloodseeker, even though he should. Abaddon, Miscoil mana cost rescaled. That's a pretty significant buff to him in the mid game, in the early game. Alchemist Acid Spray negative armor increased by 1 every level. That's pretty cool. Anti-Mage base strength increased from 20 to 22. Will not change it at all. The hero still probably won't be picked. Wow, Axe got a pretty sick buff. 3% chance on counter helix. Bane's now awesome with Aghanims. That's really good. He might see competitive play as a more core role, which would be cool. I'd like to see that. Flaming Lasso cooldown increased by 5 seconds at level 2 and 10 seconds at level 3, which is good. Fuck Bat Rider. Wild Axe's damage from composite to physical. That's pretty big. Primal Roar knockback increased. Side damage is the same as primary. Wow. Pretty big buff to Beastmaster. I don't really like the hero. I don't think he'll be picked up much more than he already was. That's just my personal thoughts. I'm not big on that hero. Wow. Old Blood Rage. New Blood Rage. Wow. No. It can be dispelled, unlike the last one. So yeah. A hero affected with the Blood Rage buff who kills a unit will be healed for 25% of the units. However, It no longer silences or damages over time. I think that's actually a nerf to Bloodseeker if you think about him in the sense of how he interacts with heroes like Slark. Not bad though, and because he can cast it on himself, and the mana cost is 0, he can always get last hits. Or he can continue to last hit like he did before. That's pretty cool. That's not bad, actually, because that actually makes Bloodseeker into an okay jungler now. That makes Bloodseeker an okay jungler. That's pretty cool. Bloodright, an effect that is visible to enemies appears in the ground with his new spell. It has 100 mana cost. After 3 seconds in the area, enemies in the area are damaged and silenced. It's 240 pure damage, 3-second silence. Thirst, visibility, and true sight are only granted when a target is at below 38%. Visibility and true sight are granted only when the target is at or below 30%. Wow, that's actually kind of a pretty big nerf. That's one of the things that made the hero good, in my opinion. I think the hero overall got a pretty big buff here. There were some slight nerfs, but I think overall Bloodseeker got a big buff. Probably not enough to see him in competitive, but I think he's a better pub stomping hero now. And I think with Bloodright he'll actually become, or with his new Blood Rage and Bloodright, he'll become a decent jungler, which is really cool. I like that. He can now jungle at level 1 and do a shitload of damage. Yeah, I think he's okay now. That's pretty neat. I'll have to see. Holy moly! Bounty Hunter Shuriken Toss now bounces to all tracked units within a 900 range. That makes... I think that brings Bounty Hunter back into the competitive scene, because you spam out track and then throw one Shuriken. I mean, if you're like level 11 and you spam Shuriken and you hit a good... or spam track and you hit one good Shuriken, you're now blasting the crap out of your enemy team. It's really cool. Drunken Ball's critical evasions timer on Brewmaster increased. Not a big change, maybe enough to push him out of the meta because other heroes are getting buffed. He's still pretty good, though. Spin Web now has 1, 2, 3, 4 charges with a 40-second replenish time instead of a 30-second cooldown. That's cool. That's a buff. Spin Web time to enter hidden mode after taking damage increased from 3 to 6 seconds. I don't like that. That's a pretty horrible nerf. Spin Web movement speed bubbles is doubled when Broodmother is in hidden mode. That's cool. Spin Web phasing and speed bonuses now work on spiderlings. That's cool. That's really cool. That way you won't accidentally feed lots of spiderlings. Spin Webs are now selectable and have an ability to destroy themselves. Spin Webs can be now cast from anywhere as long as the new web touches another. Oh wow. So you can be pushing another lane or joining a team fight, and you can actually spin a web somewhere else on the map. This makes it so Broodmother doesn't have to... Like, Broodmother can now just destroy an old web to make a new web for a team fight, and then when she's done, she can put that web back where it was without having to remake her whole network. That's a pretty solid buff to Broodmother. Whenever she's taken out of Spin Web's free pathing, she destroys nearby trees. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. Centaur's Stampede mana cost increased from 80 to 100. He'll probably still be viable as he is now. I don't think that's a big deal at all. He's a really good hero, but he's not broken. Chaos Knight Phantasm Illusion duration increased from 24 to 34. That's actually pretty huge. Will it be enough for him to come back into the game? I'm not sure. We'll have to see how the meta evolves to see, but he's definitely better than what he was. Chen Penitence duration rebalanced from 7 to 5, 6, 7, 8. Penitence slow and damage amplification rebalanced. Wow! Aghanim Scepter now allows Chen to Holy Persuasion and Ancient Creep. Maximum 1 Ancient Creep per level of Hand of God. Oh my god! If you have Hand of God maxed, you can have 3 Ancient Creeps. That's kind of insane. You can have 3 Ancients. I think Chen's actually back in the metagame now. I think that's really cool. I don't know if they'll actually do that in pro games, but that's really cool. You get like a sub 20-minute ags on that hero, and you're huge. That's really sick. Searing Arrows is no longer an attack modifier. I think that's past due. I think Cliques needed a small buff, and I think that will... I don't know, I think he's still a situational pick. Clockwork, Hookshot now pulls Clockwork to neutral creeps. Normally, like any unit, whatever. Hit Crystal Maiden, frost damage interval from 70 per 1 second to 50 to 0.5 seconds. Wow. That's a pretty huge buff for CM, especially when jungling. This makes Crystal Maiden a much better jungler than she was before. In fact, I might have to remake my guide for her, because now she's super, super, super good. She's really, really, really good. 28.0 to 28 seconds. What the... That's cool. Okay, don't think that's a big change. Aghanim Scepter Weave, armor reduction per second increased. Yeah, makes Dazzle worthwhile to get an axe. Exorcism cooldown increased from 115 to 135. Murdering Death Prophet. I think it's a good change. Doom now requires Aghanim Scepter to disable passives. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. I guess you'll actually see people getting Ags on the hero now. I think you'll actually see people getting Ags on Doom now. Like, I think you actually have to get it for him to be good. Unless you're just using it for a single target silence that lasts for years. And the Doom ability cast point increased. I don't know if I like those changes, because I feel like Doom is all about that ultimate. I'd rather you see him nerf some other aspect of the hero, but whatever. Frost Arrow's slow increased, so it scales more normally. It's a small buff. Earth Spirit. Added Aghanim Scepter. I guess this is a buff? I have no idea, I don't play the hero. I'm not even really going to go over this. Earthshaker, Fissure no longer has unit targeting. Whoa. That's actually huge, because if you target someone with Fissure, and you get halfway through the animation and they blink, before it would actually change and still hit them with the Fissure. I think Earthshaker is still an awesome hero, but not having Fissure on target is now a big problem. I think that's a big change. Elder Titan, added Aghanim Scepter. I think that might bring him into the... I think you'll see Elder Titan in the meta just because Natural Order is really good, his passive, and I think that when you see heroes like Phantom Lancer coming back into the meta game, you'll see Elder Titan coming back into the meta game. Enchantress, +5 move speed. Yeah. Enigma, Midnight Pulse cooldown increased from 25 to 30. Midnight Pulse cooldown increased? Black Hole max damage rebalanced. No big change. Max damage area of effect increased from 150 to 200. Min damage rebalanced. I think it's a slight buff to Enigma, but it's not a big change. Chronosphere no longer disables passives. I'm pretty sure before Chronosphere disabled the evasion on Butterfly, which was kind of huge. I think it's a pretty big nerf to Void. I think he's still going to be awesome, but it's a pretty big nerf. Homing missile damage increased. I don't know if it'll get Gyrocopter back into the meta, but it's good. Tornado damage increased, I think, and Tornado flying vision reduced by half. Huskar inner vitality cooldown reduced. That's good. Berserker's blood attack speed bonus increased. Life break slow rebalance. Life break cooldown reduced. Wow, his ultimate's only got a 12-second cooldown on all levels. That might be enough to bring him back into the game. I don't know. That's really powerful. Wow, that would be cool. Jakiro dual breath movement and attack slow rebalance from 30 to 20. That's good. Jakiro's dual breath sucked ass. It needs a buff. Other than that, I think the hero's balanced. Juggernaut. Wow. Decent buffs to Juggernaut's Blade Fury. I think he needs a bigger buff. Keeper of the Light. Mana leak removal percentage increased. Mana leak duration increased. Recall now targets individual allies. Or invulnerable allies, such as allies affected by Song of the Siren. That's cool. That's actually really, really big, because if you have a Coddle and you have a Nog ult, then you can just grab someone out of the Nog ult, or they have to cancel the ult. Blinding Light knockback increased. That's pretty cool. Kunkka's X marks the spot cooldown. Small buff. LC now in Captain's mode. Duel no longer disables passives. I think that's a fucking absurd nerf to LC. Because, yeah, it's just a huge nerf to her. Base damage got nerfed on overwhelming odds. Press the attack, mana cost. Yeah, Legion Commander got nerfed all the way around, but she's in Captain's mode now. We'll probably see her buffed in the next patch ever so slightly if she's not picked much. Pulse Nova damage increased pretty substantially on Leshrac. Not a huge deal. Oh, but the activation cost is reduced. I don't think it's enough to bring Leshrac back into the game, but it's pretty cool. Ice Armor now slows ranged heroes with a full amount instead of half. That's a buff to Lich. I think that's the way it should have been all along. Light Strike Array cast range increase. That's cool. Stun duration increase. I like those changes. Slate buff to Lena. I don't know if it'll change anything. Earth Spike damage increased. Spirit Bear now has 300 mana, and using Hand of Midas now grants EXP to Lone Druid. Well, finally, Lone Druid's Bear can get a Dagon, so that's cool. I don't really know what the point of this is other than that. And using Hand of Midas now grants experience to Lone Druid. That's really cool, because now you can just leave the Midas on the bear, unless the bear dies. Now the most important change to the whole patch. Shapeshift got a huge nerf here. It's actually, it's kind of crippling. Basically, like, it doesn't really affect the way that I play Lycan as sort of a rat, because you just have to transform a little bit earlier, and you actually move faster than before, so it's harder to catch you once you're transformed. So as soon as you see people coming TP to defend, you just start the transformation, and then if they cancel the TP, you can start hitting, or you can just run. It will take a little bit of adjusting the way I play Lycan for it to still be effective, but if you practice it and you get used to it, I think Lycan will be just as effective as a rat as he was before, but this does cripple his ability to be a carry. I think it would have been better if they left his base attack time the same and just got rid of his ultimate's crit altogether. Because he can't crit buildings, so. Empower is no longer removed by spell immunity. Empower mana cost increased. Balance changed to Magnus. Medusa, mana shield damage absorption rate increased from 50 to 60%. Good change. Mystic Snake will probably return, or probably remain a useless spell. Meepo clones boot item slots now match whichever slot Meepo Prime has his boots in. Okay, I see that, yeah. That's confusing. There's no change to Meepo at all. Literally nothing. Leap speed reduced from 2,000 to 1,600. Leap distance rebalanced. Oh, good. Wait, what? So leap actually... It gives more at levels 2 and 3, but less at levels 1 and 2. I would have loved to... I wanted to see Mirana get nerfed into the trash, so... Call of Nature Trend Magic Resistance reduced from 20% to 0%. I think that's a little bit much. I like Nature's Prophet. I know he's played a lot right now, but I think that's a little bit much. I would have rather seen another change on him, but whatever. Could have been worse. Necrolite, Reaper's Scythe added respawn time penalty from 30% to a constant 30 seconds. Wow! That will let Necrolite really destroy the mid-game more than he already does. That's cool. Attack speed and ultimate duration increase on Night Stalker. It's okay. I still think he needs a bigger buff because I think the hero is absolutely useless right now because of the day-night changes. Whatever. Ogre Magi base HP regeneration increased from 0.25 to 2. Wow! Ogre Magi's base HP regeneration is huge. I think that's a good change. I think that's actually a genius change. It's really appropriate for the hero because he's a support that tanks a lot. Fire Blast damage reduced. But multicast chance improved. Good changes to Ogre. Omni Knight got a small buff. Omni Knight's just going to keep getting buffed. OD. Wow! OD, you only need 1 point of Essence Aura early, but I feel like it doesn't really matter because you're going to skill it the same way anyway, but it's nice to have that 40% early on. Oh no, you still have to max it. I think it makes him a little bit better in the laning phase, but other than that, it doesn't change much. PL removed from Captain's mode. Spirit Lance unchanged. He now has a passive ability. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I'm gonna go ahead. Hold on 1 second. Hello, I'm recording a video right now. What's up? I'm recording a video right now. What's up? No, I'll see you in a bit. I'll be home. I'll call you when I'm done. Peace. Sorry about that. It was girlfriend, live with girlfriend, might have been really important. Sorry, Phantom Rush, basic ability for PL to quickly close the distance to an enemy. Passive with cooldown. Triggers when issuing an attack order. It's basically like, I feel like it's like Zealot Charge from StarCraft, which is really cool. Doppelganger. Target an area, Phantom Lancer and all nearby illusions will disappear for 1 second, and then have their positions shuffled into the target area. This also creates 2 illusions of opposite types. Illusion 1 deals 0% damage and takes 100% damage. Illusion 2 deals 20% damage and takes 600. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. It's awesome. That's going to be really hard to figure. That's really cool. It's really hard to figure out who's who now. PL's now great. I think that's cool. Wait. What? His agility gain is reduced by 1.2 per level? Whoa, that's really bad. I was really excited about that. I think he's better now than he will be. That's really bad. That's really, 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 really bad, actually. Wow. Huh. And he doesn't... Yeah, I think this is actually a really bad change now. Let's see, level 10, you'd have an extra 12. It's not that big of an issue because they increase his base agility. It's definitely a buff to him, but I think I prefer him the old way. Now his ultimate allows both Phantom Lancer and his illusions to create more illusions. Juxtapose is his ultimate. Oh wow. I'll see. I don't think he'll be that good. I don't think he'll be very good at all. But we'll see. Pudge turn rate improved, that's cool. Added Aghanim Scepter. Huh. That's cool. I don't know if it'll make Phoenix awesome. Phoenix is already kind of awesome. Good buff to Puck. Co-op-based attack time reduced. Removed unit targeting from Sonic Wave. Sonic Wave final area of effect increased from 300 to 450. Pretty big. Why is Ricky getting... Okay, hold on. Let's save that. Razor. Plasma Field minimum damage from 60, 100, 140. Okay, so Plasma Field has been nerfed all to shit. Yeah, Razor got nerfed to shit. He's probably dead now, I hope so. He's a stupid, annoying hero. Ricky. He got nerfed all to shit. But permanent Invisibility is now a basic ability. Blink Strike is now an ultimate and can target spell immune people. The bonus damage... Blink Strike now has 3, 4, 5 charges with 30-second replenish time. Blink Strike mana cost reduced from 50 to 40. I don't know. Like, it's not like a crazy buff. It's just a rebalancing of the hero. I think it's good. The hero should be really good, or should be invisible early on. I guess you now max permanent invisibility first. Yeah, I think the hero's a lot better now. I think he's a lot better. He's definitely going to be stronger. Shadow Demon. Small buff. Small buff to Shadow Fiend. Small nerf to Shadow Shaman, he's still good. Small nerf to Silencer. Decent nerf to Skywrath. Yeah. Skywrath got a decent nerf. He got a moderate nerf. Slither and Crush duration increased pretty substantially on Slardar. That's it, though. Slark is no longer invisible inside Chronosphere during Shadow Dance. He always was. I guess it was a bug. Sniper Headshot now causes a 0.5, 100%. Oh. Sniper's passive no longer stuns. I think that's... I don't know if that's a nerf or a buff to Sniper. I don't know. I don't like it. Spectral Dagger movement speed changed. Buff. Spectral Dagger projectile speed reduced from 857 to 800. Okay. Big buff to Spear Breaker. Wow. I think Spirit Breaker is that's a pretty solid buff to Spirit Breaker. It makes him a stronger mid-game hero, which is what he is. I think that's cool. Sven Aghanim Scepter. So now support Sven is actually not awful. Storm Spirit Ball Lightning mana cost. I guess it's a good change. Makes Storm Spirit carry harder. It's good. Oh, yes. Terrorblades in Captain's Mode, and the Sunder cast point's been improved a lot, which I think was the hero's biggest problem. That's really cool. That's really, really cool to see. That's awesome. Terrorblades in Captain's Mode. Let's go to Checkies, though. I'm going to ignore Stasis Trap because I don't use it. Landmines cooldown. I think the Landmines cooldown is really cool. It really makes the hero better at jungling and getting First Blood. Flying units no longer get hurt by landmines. I don't know how I feel about that. Anchor Smash damage reduction reduced from 60% to a scaling value. Tidehunter's still good. Timbersaul's added Aghanim Scepter gives him a second chakram. Wow. I don't know how I feel about that, but I think because of the nature of Timbersaul, that's kind of core on him now. I think this might bring Timbersaul back into the metagame. March of the Machines no longer affects BKB units. I think that's the best way to balance the hero. It'll take him out of popularity some without making him useless. That's really cool. Aghanim Scepter allows Ice in the Forest, which allows Trent to enchant trees to spy on his enemies and expand the area overgrowth effects. He enchants a tree. Cooldown, cast range. Ooh. If overgrowth is cast... Wow. That's really cool. Makes Trent Protector even better. And he's fucking awesome anyway. Which sucks. I hate to see him. Acquisition range? Okay. Troll Warlord buff. Tusk buff. Decent Tusk buff. Undying, Tombstone area of effect increased. Aghanim Scepter damage increased by 5% at all levels on his ultimate. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid buff to Undying. Yeah, that's a really big buff to Undying, actually. He's kind of awesome now. Vengeful Spirit, Nether swap range increased. It's okay. Poison Nova applies its debuff on spell immune enemies. I think that should have always been that way, because I feel like Venomancer Salt's kind of weak. Viper. Visage Familiar Stone Form cooldown 30 to 26. That's fair. I think this might make Warlock a better, like, he might become popular now, but he's basically designed the same way he was before, and that's a one-hit wonder. He's just designed to land the Fatal Bond's ultimate combination, and if he does, he just wins the team fight automatically, which is cool. Weaver. Swarm duration increased, which is really, really good, because that means that you can get that vision on enemies with just that level 1 swarm, which is really cool, or level 2 swarm. So Kuchi no longer ignores invisible units. But Sakuchi damage reduced. Same at max level though. Geminate attack can now proc items? Whoa. That means that you can get a Daedalus on Weaver and get a double crit. This is like the biggest buff to Weaver ever. That's awesome. That's really cool. He'll be picked now. Wind Ranger, Shackle Shot, Wind Runner, Shackle Shot, max latch distance increased, Wind Run duration increased. She needed a buff. I don't know if it'll make her awesome, but she'll need a buff. Maledict AoE increased. Reincarnation mana cost increased on Wraith King. Static area of field. Static field area of effect increased from 1,000 to 1,200. So that's basically it. I think this patch we're going to see... In pubs you'll see a lot of PL and a lot of Fricky. Sounds like cancer, but PL's going to be awful. Armlet recipe cost reduced, so Armlet actually got a buff. Assault Aura no longer displays its debuff on the enemy if the carrier is not visible. That's good. Avatar spell immunity duration and cooldown are now tied to the hero instead of the item. Wait, what? Buying a new BKB doesn't reset the ability's duration. Wow. But the minimum immunity has been increased to 4 to 5. I think that's a good change. I think buying multiple BKBs is bad. The gold cost in a Blink Dagger increased by 100. I think the item needed a nerf, and I didn't want to see it become horrible. And I think this is a good middle ground. I don't think that's bad. I think that's okay. Bottle gold increased from 650 to 700. It's kind of a nerf to heroes that like using the bottle in the jungle, like the way I play Doom and stuff. But I don't know. It's like with the introduction of the bounty rune, it's not going to be I mean, it's like the bottles are so awesome now because there's a rune every single time someone's getting a rune. So Bloodstone now requires Soul Ring and 800 gold recipe instead of Perseverance, and it no longer grants plus 10 damage. So it now requires a Soul Ring and an 800 gold recipe instead of a Perseverance. I think that's a better build-up because a Soul Ring is actually an item that a lot of heroes get, and it doesn't suck, versus a Perseverance is honestly kind of a shitty item, I think. So, I think that's a cool change. Feels weird because Bloodstone's always had that Perseverance component. It's whatever. Boots of Travel teleport cooldown reduced 60 to 50. I think that's huge. That's actually a pretty big buff to Lycan. I like that. Butterfly has an active ability, Flutter, which can be cast to trade Butterfly's evasion for a 25% or 20% movement bonus for 8 seconds. Evasion is lost during the 8 seconds. I don't think it really changes Butterfly. Butterfly's always awesome. Cloak, Hood, and Pipe magic resistance now stack like all normal magic resistances do. Wow. So you can just have like 6 cloaks for like 90% magic resist. That's really cool. You can buy like a pair of cloaks. You combine a Vanguard and a Buckler for a Crimson Guard. It gives you 250 HP, 6 HP regen, passive damage block. It's okay. 5 armor plus 2 all stats. Active Guard. Gives nearby allied heroes plus 2 armor and damage block shell that has a 100% chance to block 50 damage. Wow, that's a really cool item for supports. That's the definition of what Axe wants. That's like the item that's gonna make Axe like a good hero. That's the item that like Axe will just be getting that item every game. Like, that's cool. That means that Axe is gonna be everywhere, which is also going to hurt Lycan's viability. Sorry, I've got a little pet snake and he's like looking at me right now, and it's really cute. Dagon got nerfed. Who cares? Diffusal Blade. Recipe cost reduced from 850 to 700. Agility bonus rebalance from 2530 to 2035. Okay. Feedback rebalance from 2036 to a constant 25. Not a big change to Diffusal. Maybe a slight buff. Whatever. Ethereal Blade now has a projectile. Ethereal Blade now only turns the caster ethereal if they target themselves. Okay. Frost Slow from an Scotty increased. Good change. Flying Couriers are now faster. They take 50% extra damage from melee heroes. Speed Burst cooldown increased from 40 to 90. That's huge. Speed Burst duration reduced from 20 to 4. Wow. So yeah, the speed boost is now kind of an irrelevant skill. Helm of the Dominator now provides plus 3 HP regen to match its components. And dominated units now have 250 bonus HP. I think that's cool, especially if you're dominating something like an Alpha Wolf that's kind of squishy. Hood of Defiance, HP regen increased from 8 to 9. Lycan Sphere only blocks Wrath of Nature's initial bounce, not subsequent bounces. Lycan Sphere only blocks Lightning Storm's initial bounce, not subsequent bounces. Nether Ward no longer triggers Lycan Sphere. Lightning Bolt now triggers Lycan Sphere when targeted at the ground. Maelstrom Mjolnir no longer trigger Lycan Sphere. So Maelstrom or Speedcross increased from 6 to 700. Maelstrom is still awesome. Refresh Orb active ability increased by 15 seconds. Mask of Madness. Recipe cost reduced from 1,000 to 900. Let's go back to Faceless Void. Honestly, that's pretty cool. I think Faceless Void's still awesome, especially in pubs. He won't be much different. Mantis style mirror image vision type change from unobstructed flying to ground. Recipe cost reduced from 900 to 800. That's good. I think Mantis needed a buff. Restore mana cost increased from 150 to 225. I hate that. I think mech's just awesome and should remain awesome. Ring of Protection armor increased from 2 to 3. Gold cost increased from 175 to 200. Not a big change, but enough. I guess that doesn't... Does that affect... I guess that affects Ring of Basilius and everything else that comes from this. True Sight AoE increased by 50 on that. Shadow Blade, Shadow Walk, Invisibility Break damage increased from 150 to 175. Shiva's Guard Freezing Aura no longer displays a debuff on the enemy if the carrier is not visible. TP Scroll Gold reduced from 135 to 100. That's awesome. Landmine's damage type is now physical. What the fuck? Necronomicon damage type changed from pure to magical, which makes a BKB really strong against Lycan. And Last Will damage has actually been increased, so if you kill a Necrobook unit, it actually does more damage to you. Urn of Shadows now does pure damage. That's cool. I like that. I think that's the way it should have always been. That's basically it, guys. So thanks for watching. This has been my rough analysis slash overview of patch 6.82 and Dota 2. Let me know what you think of the patch once it comes out, and I will see you later. Peace, guys.